faces. I'm bright. Turn the lights on. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Jan Portman with Relationship Matters TV. Ah, so I had someone in here working on my computers, and they were working on the lights. And gee, that's almost better, but not really. We have to turn off some of these lights. I'm blinding myself. Okay, so let's turn off all of this. That's better. A little better. All righty. So how is everyone this evening? This has been one of those days when I have just had a great time. Um, I Today we're talking about relationships, cultivating relationships and friendships. And today, what happened? A friend of mine that I've known for years came to town. And what she did, she had a luncheon. And she lives in Arizona. She had a lunch, well, a brunch, I should say. And all of these people, there were maybe, I'm not sure, but at least 40, 45 people there. And they were all of these people that I had grown up with, although they were younger. But we grew, let me give you a little story. I am from low income housing, we'll call it. That's what they call it now. They used to call it the projects in Chicago, Illinois. And at the name of it is Alt Guild Gardens. And this was housing that was built for returning soldiers from World War II. And they're like row houses, so not big, tall buildings. Row houses, we had front yard, backyards. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of the condos today and co-ops that are not high-rise buildings, they really are designed from those designs of housing, low income housing back then. But, and that was because most of you all know I am a senior citizen, and I'm, what are they saying now? Fabulously over 50. But anyway, uh, what was happening is it became a family. Um, and I don't know how many acres or anything was on, but anyway, it became a family of just people because we were, it was on the outskirts and you had to take a bus to get into the city, so to speak. But anyway, it was so wonderful to see a lot of people who I grew up with. And it was all about cultivating relationships because so many of them were, they knew each other. They were younger than me, but they knew each other. They still see each other. And the one person that was missing was the young lady, I'll call her that I grew up with, that I have known since kindergarten. And it's important to cultivate your friendships and your relationships because relationships are a journey. You know, they go from, I should say, from small to large. They can span over years. But if your relationships are important to you, you have to cultivate your relationships. And so I'd like to ask you out there, what relationships do you have that you know you need to cultivate or that you are cultivating? Meaning you communicate with them, you you, you know, text them every now and then. You find out how they're doing. It's because you cannot just think that, oh, I know this person. We've known each other for a long time. And I really don't have to, really check on them that often. I know they're fine. But no, check on them. Cultivate your relationships, your personal relationships, and your professional relationships. So I started thinking, what relationships do I cultivate? Or what relationships do I need to cultivate? You never know who in your past, you never know you that they might be searching for you, they might be waiting to hear from you. Even your professional relationships. I looked back on when I started working, when I started teaching at Chicago public schools, and I started thinking, I made friends, but when I left, I stopped communicating with them. And I said, what I need to do is to reach out. What I have found is that you can look in your past phone books or on your phone and start going through the names. You know what I found is that I would see a name and like, who are they? I don't remember who they are. Or and it's like it must have been important enough if I put them in my phone book or put them on my phone as a contact, they must have been important enough to me. So why is it that I don't remember who they are? You know why? Because I did not cultivate that relationship. Even within your family, sometimes we figure, oh, well, that's my sister, that's my brother, that's my cousin, and oh, they live in another state, and I don't call them as much. But you should. You should. You need to cultivate your relationships. And someone said, I was talking today to someone about friendships and relationships, and what they said to me, there's a story to every encounter. Who have you encountered in your life? You do not know who you have impacted. Sometimes it can be just something that you said that was positive, that motivated them to do something. It can also be that you said something negative that motivated them to do something. You can spiral them up and you can also spiral them down. This is just a story. It's a true story. But when we talk about there's a story and there's a story behind every encounter, my husband and I were on a cruise. And for some of you who know, my husband has been on two different cancer journeys. But of course, not but we are very, very grateful that he's in total remission. Everything is fine. But when he was on the journey, the first cancer journey, and it was a cancer, they found something on the back of his tongue. And he had to go through chemo and radiation. Well, with radiation, there's a mask that they had to put over his face, his head, bolted down so he couldn't move his head, and they had to do radiation. Well, as he said, it just was horrible, and he almost gave up. But his daughter gave him some headphones and said, Daddy, I want you to listen to this. And it was a song by the gospel singer Marvin Sapp. And the song was and still is Never Could Have Made It, or Never Would Have Made It. Never would have made it. So if you've never heard the song, just look it up. Marvin Sapp. Never would. Is it never could have made it or never would have made it? Never would have made it. All right. And that song really helped him to go through that radiation journey. But this is what happened. We were on a cruise, and I'm standing in line at the buffet line, and this man is standing next to me. And so we're complaining because they haven't brought any more shrimp out. And so I see my husband in the other line, and he's just grinning and smiling. And I'm like, why is he smiling at me, while I'm talking to this man? All right. So he said, you know who that was? I said, no, that was Marvin Sapp. I said, oh, really? I didn't know that. Now, we were on an island. We had stopped on one of the cruise ship's islands. And so he saw Marvin Sapp, and he walked over to him and he said, I just want to tell you something. I don't want anything from you. I just want to tell you something. And he told him how your song saved my life. Your song is the song that helped me go through my cancer journey, helped me go through that radiation. And even after the radiation and the chemo, helped me to go through it well. So Marvin Sapp thanked him. The next day or that evening, there was a show, a gospel show, and Marvin Sapp was getting ready to sing. And he said, we were having lunch, and this young man came up to me, and he told me that my song never would have made it, has changed his life. That my song never would have made it, helped me go through my cancer journey. And he said, I was really pondering not singing anymore, but just to go into my ministry of preaching. But this young man showed me that I needed to keep doing my ministry with music, with gospel music. We were sitting there. What? So the reason why I'm telling you this story is because chance encounters. You never know. You never know whose life you have impacted just through a chance encounter. Now, we didn't get a chance to cultivate that relationship, but still there is that connection. There is that connection. So that's why I said I wanted you I wanted to talk about friendships, relationships, encounters. It takes, I was reading something here, or someone told me this, it only takes 10 seconds to imprint on someone or to impact someone's life by your words, by your conversation. So who do you know? What friend, what acquaintance that you can think of that, you know what? I said this to them and they took what I said. I didn't know that they were going to take what I said and use that to propel themselves. Or, I said something negative to this person and I regret it. If you do, if you still know who they are, if you still know them, call them, talk to them, see how you have impacted their lives. Then I started thinking, so all of this came about because of the brunch I went to today with all of these people that I grew up with. Now, this young man came up to me and he said, "Didn't you used to play the piano at the church?" And I said, "Yes." Now, that's been like, I don't know how long ago. I think I was in my 20s, early 30s. He said, "You played the piano for me when I was singing at this person's funeral." I said, "What?" I said, wait, hold on a minute. That had to be almost 60 years ago. You know what he said? "I never forgot it." What? It was, I said, "You remember that?" He said, "Yes, I never forgot it. I never forgot how that made me feel that you did that for me." So you just never, ever, ever know. So you look back at your relationships. Remember, I always say there are all kinds of relationships and there are all kinds of relationship matters. So today just made me think, okay, what friends or what acquaintances do I have that and I'm not and I feel that they're friends and I have not been cultivating their relationships, that relationship. So I look back at some of the people who came through my life, so to speak. And I thought about, oh, wow, some of them are even famous now. And maybe if I can remember one, I thought, oh, no, he'll never really be, he's trying to be, this in the entertainment industry. And, I don't remember giving him any words of encouragement. I look back and I think, you know what? Hopefully, I have not said or did not say anything negatively towards him. But sometimes, if you say something that's kind of negative, it might make that person say, well, you know what? They think I cannot do it, and I'm going to show them that I can. So give me a chat, give me a comment. Who is it that in your life, in your relationships, that you feel you really need to go a little bit deeper into that relationship, that you need to cultivate that relationship? That can even be in your family. Some of the people were talking, one of the ladies asked this other lady, "Oh, how is your sister?" And she said, "I don't know. I haven't heard from her in 4 or 5 years." And we kind of all looked and we said, well, you know what? You really need to call your sister. You really need to talk to your sister. I tell my clients who are, as some of you know, I'm an adult daughter, aging mother relationship coach. And I tell some of the daughters, well, if they're estranged from their moms, you need to cultivate, you need to reconcile, because you don't ever want to get that phone call that they are gone, that they're past, that they're really, really ill, and you didn't speak to them before then. You did not reconcile before then. Even if you think about your friends, sometimes someone that you know passes and you might say, I meant to call her. I meant to call him. Oh my God, I regret that I did not call them. I did not speak to them before this happened. So this is what this is all about. This is about cultivating your relationships. This is about holding on to people who you feel are important to you, people who sometimes you might not feel that they're important to you, but you know that you are important to them. So let's see, we have a text that came in. It's a comment. If you have good friends, please connect with them. Yeah, before they pass away. You don't want to have that regret. Very, very true. And I just said that. The text that just came in. Yes. So it could be that this person, whose name I won't mention, has those regrets. Think about it. So I'm going to go to a quick commercial, and what I want you to do is either text me or put it in the chat. Do you maintain your relationships? Is there someone who you need to reconcile with? Is there someone who's been on your mind that you know you need to check up on or to call? So I'm going to go to a quick commercial, and I want to see a bunch of comments, okay? Because I know if you're like me, I got a list of people that I need to call. Okay? So we'll be back right back. Don't go anywhere. I am back quick. What's your story? You need to write a story? You have the perfect pen to write with. Intention pen. So now I don't see anything in the comments here. Now I know I said if you are like me, you have a list of people that you know you need to call, text, write. You have some people that you need to call, write to. Relationships. Life is about relationships. Without relationships, there is no life. All kinds of relationships. Personal relationships. Relationships with your friends. Relationships with your families. Professional relationships. Relationships with your colleagues. If you are an employer, relationships with your employees. Relationships. Relationships with your next door neighbor. Relationships matter. The most important relationship, the relationship with yourself. Are you cultivating that relationship? How is your relationship with yourself? Do you speak positively to yourself? We always talk about self talk. Do you talk to you? And do you talk to you in a positive manner? Do you build yourself up? I know sometimes we have a tendency, and I do it too. You have a tendency to say something not nice about yourself. You know, you can say, and I have said it, oh, I can't find my keys. I can't find this. I just put it down. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. That's the negative. That goes in here. And it also goes in here. Okay. All right. And yeah, so think about it. Yeah, I saw, thank you, Maxine, for your like. Think about it. You know, don't talk negative to yourself. It imprints on you, believe it or not. Oh, I'm too fat. Then you're gonna look, if you're saying that to yourself, yeah, then you're gonna be believing it. Okay. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, this. Oh, why did I do that? Uh-uh. No. Positive self-talk. Always talk good about yourself. You know, I was told to look in the mirror. You know, Mary J. Blige had this song, Hello Gorgeous. So look in the mirror and say to yourself, hello gorgeous. If you're a man, hello handsome. Today is a good day. I'm feeling blessed. I'm full of energy. I'm going to have the best day of my life. You know what? If you say that to yourself, guess what? You will. You will have a good day. So think about your self talk. Don't talk negative to yourself. That's number one. And number two, don't speak negative about your friends. You never know what that person is going through. You never know what journey they are on. You never know what relationship they have with themselves. You never know what relationships they're having with other people. You don't know what's impacting their lives. Hard to do sometimes, I know. But if you just think about it before you open your mouth or before that negative thought comes, because those still are relationships. As I said, the most important relationship is the relationship with yourself. How do you view yourself? Okay, Maxine, I am not going to put this on. Uh, I'm not going to show it, but I'll tell it. So, Maxine and I, we are, I guess I should say, concentrating on the relationships with ourselves and the relationship with our bodies. Now, how are we doing that? We're working out because we're taking care of our bodies and we're trying to eat right. And not gonna say try. We're eating right. Well, the other day, concentrating on a particular, well, I'll say our legs. Concentrate on our legs because we want to still be able to walk, to skip, to run, whatever. And we had a pretty strenuous workout. So as she said, she's still hurting. But that's a good thing because that means that you're using your muscles. So, relationship with other people, personally or professionally, relationship with yourself. your mind, and your body, and your heart. And when I say your heart, I don't mean your physical heart, but I mean your emotional heart, your feelings in here. That has a lot to do with the relationship with yourself. Holding on, sometimes we hold on to anger. Sometimes we hold on to stress. What does that do to you? That does not help you. That does not help here, and that does not help here, and it doesn't help physically. Cultivate the relationship that you have with yourself. So that's what, how many relationships have I talked about? Personal relationships, relationships with your friends, with your family, with your neighbors, professional relationships with your colleagues, if you're an employer, with your employees, if you are an employee, with your employer, okay? If you're a salesperson, those professional relationships, you know how important that is to cultivate those relationships. And a relationship with yourself. All of those relationships need to be cultivated. All of those relationships are journeys. So if you don't have anything else, this is going to be a short episode. But I just thought it was important. And I guess it was, as I said earlier, it was because of the brunch that I went to. I did a Facebook Live on my page, and it was just a wonderful event. And we all thanked our the one who really decided she was coming to Chicago, and her two very good friends put on this brunch. Now, her name is Lois Woods Walker, and she lives in Arizona. Now, when you talk about relationships, she was very instrumental in our previous mayor in the past, Harold Washington. And she still, and he has passed. We've had, I don't know, maybe 3 mayors since then. But she still has that relationship with his organization. As a matter of fact, she is very instrumental in keeping his legacy alive. That is a relationship with all the people who were involved. That is a relationship that she is still cultivating. That is that journey that she is still on. So just remember, this is all I wanted to do today, is just talk about relationships, because this show is called Relationship Matters, because there are all kinds of relationships, and there are all kinds of relationship matters. In the future, I want to talk about relationships with inanimate objects. I want to talk about, ladies, the relationship, I should say, that we have with our clothes. Do you know that your relationship with your clothes really speaks to not only yourself, but to other people? Do you know that the way that you dress is a way that you relate and you communicate to other people? And ladies, the relationships that we have with that dress or those shoes, or that we know we can't wear anymore, but we can't let go. We have relationships with furniture. I love that chair, but I just can't get rid of it because I love that chair. Relationships with inanimate objects. Men, relationships with that old sweater that your wife might say, "Oh my God, I wish you would get rid of that sweater." I remember this show, Frasier, and his father had a relationship with his old recliner. And as Maxine says, yes, Maxine has a relationship with her car. And we do. A lot of us. We have relationships with our cars. All kinds of relationship matters. And guess what? With a car, guess what? I bet I know she is. She's cultivating the relationship with that car. Now, this is kind of funny when you think about it. It's not funny, but it is kind of comical in a sense. So you have a relationship with your car, probably, meaning you wash it, you make sure no one bumps into it. You might park in a parking lot away from everybody else's car because you have a relationship with that car. We have relationships with our pets. Mm-hmm. So it's not an inanimate object, but we have relation. I have a relationship with two computers here. Relationships with inanimate objects. So I said I wanted to have a show one day, and we just talked about the relationships that we have with inanimate objects. Okay. Or the relationships we have with our plants. Some people sing to their plants, some people play music to their plants. They're cultivating physically their plants, but they're also cultivating the relationship with their plants. So if you have any ideas that you would like to see on the show, if you have any ideas about some conversations that we should have, that we can have, even if it sounds way out to you, I want you to send me an email to relationshipmatterstv@gmail.com. What relationships do you have? Even if it's something that that you have a relationship with and you don't really want anyone to know, you can just send it to me anonymous. I won't say anything, but we can talk about it. So I got to do one more commercial, and I want to thank you for just hanging out with me. It was just, just something that I kind of wanted to do today. But next week, oh, and also what I wanted to say, Mother's Day is coming. So, and for the moms out there, if you would like to be a guest on my show and just talk about, you know, what it's like to be a mom of a baby, of a preteen, of a teen, of an adult, what it's like to be a mom. So next week, I'm checking my calendar so I can see who we are having on the show next week. We have a guest, and what is her name? Oh my God. Her name is Sataro. You want to be here to listen to Sataro's story. When you talk about cultivating relationships, it started out as a professional relationship, and now it's a personal relationship. We're friends. Just let me say this. You want to know Sataro's story? You want to know Sataro's journey? Sataro sells, and see, I can say this, Mary Kay products, but guess what? Every year, I guess for maybe 15 years, she's got that pink caddy that pink SUV, that pink, whatever it is, Mercedes. How did she do that? What relationships is she cultivating? What is her story? What is her journey? You have got to be here. She has a magnificent personality. She has a story that you definitely want to hear. Someone who is, as I told her, when I grow up, I want to be just like her. So that's about it. We've done almost 45 minutes. I got to do one more commercial, and I want to see you again next week. Also, if you would like to be a guest on Relationship Matters TV, or if you know someone who you feel would be a great guest, email me at relationshipmatterstv@gmail.com. Now, don't forget, go to, if you want to view past episodes and you would like to subscribe to a network, one of the networks that I'm on, go to JD3 TV and subscribe. There are all kinds of master classes. There are all kinds of shows. That's JD3 TV. Also, another wonderful network with all kinds of shows, master classes, events is E360 TV. Check out both of those. Okay. Also, can't miss this one, Trajectory TV. These are 3 networks where you can find not only my show, but you can find shows that would pique your interest, shows that whatever interest that you have, you could find them on one of those 3 networks. And of course, my show. So I'm going to play a promo from one of the shows from Trajectory TV that you should watch. Here it is. It's a great show. So be sure to watch. So I will see you again next week on Relationship Matters TV. I want you to have a beautiful, blessed morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.